And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we are talking about survival mode, femininity, and semen retention. For survival mode, what do I mean by survival mode? I'm talking about health. I'm talking about you being at your optimal state of mind. Because if you are in survival mode, that means that you are in a fight or flight response. You're anxious. You've got emotions that are happening to you instead of you creating emotions in others. Instead of you actually being a leader and creating the life that you desire, you're barely scraping by. That's what survival mode is when you're basically, because you're needy and desperate, you're not able to get the things that you want. You're not vibrating at the levels that the universe desires for you to vibrate at in order for you to get what you want in every area of life. If you are in growth mode, that means that you are moving towards masculinity. And if you're moving towards masculinity, you can for certainty know that you will get what it is that you want. What's up, Lars? Welcome. So, just being specific about this, um, we've got masculinity, femininity. In men were designed to move towards masculinity, but they are born feminine. Okay, so when we're in our feminine state, we can't control ourselves, we can't control our emotions, and we are not able to control our environment. Our environment is what makes us who we are. So we remain in our femininity until we begin our sperm production. It's the sperm production that allows us to become masculine and to become intensely more masculine. Okay, that's what we need. We need the sperm production to work for us. But until the age of 9, we remain in our femininity, and we should not be pushed towards being disciplined, focused, on top of things, doing everything that our parents are telling us to do, because it's too much. Okay, we're not supposed or designed to go to school at that age. That's ridiculous, because it's not in our nature. 6-year-olds are not supposed to sit still for 45 minutes at a time. Like, what are they thinking out there? Anyway, the point is, femininity is where we're supposed to be allowed to do whatever we want. We're supposed to express our emotions. We're supposed to run around, be crazy, and do what we do as kids. But at 9 years old, 9, 10, 11, this is when things begin to change. This is when things, the sperm production begins to happen, and we begin to, in many ways, to be more aware of our emotions. And we're more aware of why we do things that we do. And we get a bit of a longer response time simply because we're also not ejaculating, right? The ejaculation thing doesn't happen before, normally 11. 10, 11. I don't know what your guys' experiences are, but at least for me, it was like I didn't discover it before I was 11 years old. So once you get there, you enter now into some kind of a growth mode. You become more motivated, you become more excited, you become more driven towards achieving goals, to play sports and to fight with your friends at school, like play fight and all that stuff. That's normal. That's what boys are supposed to do, so that we can enter into our drive towards masculinity. And if you look at girls, they're supposed to be, or supposed to, right? Because it all depends on their environment. They are designed to be feminine, right? Why is that? You look at that, women desire reproductively, they desire men that are masculine, okay, that can protect and provide, and that can turn them on, right? That's masculinity. And masculine men desire feminine women. You know that yourself. You look at masculine women, you're like, yeah, no thanks, right? Why is that? It's because femininity tells you, in a woman, tells you that she has abundance. It tells you that she is in growth mode. It shows you that she's healthy and she's capable of producing healthy babies. She's that's the way evolution has evolved things to be. so that we can get the best possible babies that we can possibly get, according to our value. So once you see this happening, women were designed to be feminine, but over time very often become masculine because of what the mainstream is teaching them. One, having sexual partners and a multiple sexual partners makes women masculine. It doesn't make them more feminine. The moment they have sex with someone, they begin to go into survival mode, because now they need sex a lot more than they used to be when they were not having sex, and it becomes a survival thing. And very often they have sex with someone that doesn't care about them, and because of that they end up being in needy mode compared to growth mode, which they were when they didn't have all those needs. And then suddenly their fathers are not protecting them anymore and not providing for them anymore, and they go off to college and they have to stress about exams, and they have to go into workforce, and that's when they become even more masculine, and they continuously are in flight or fight response, meaning they're not able to control their emotions. I mean, if everything is wonderful in their lives because they're feminine, they're beautiful, and everyone does everything for them, they're remaining in growth mode for a longer period of time. But then they also hit the wall, right? Ugly girls end up being in survival mode early on because they're not as cute as the others, right? It's not equal. And so if they don't find someone, they're going to be in survival mode for a long period of time. But eventually, all women, unless they're taken care of by masculine men, are going to remain in their masculine survival mode frame, because they don't have someone who is in growth mode taking care of them. That's why they become ugly. That's why they lose their youth. That's why they lose their appeal. That's why, we don't really want them anymore the older they get, because they're in survival mode. Survival mode basically tells you that something's wrong with this person. I don't really like this person. I don't really enjoy being around them because they're in survival mode. Survival mode is neediness, it's desperation, it's basically, I don't it's the vibe we don't want to have anything to do with. And realize that if you're feminine, this is the vibe that you're throwing off to people. You're throwing it off to women, you're throwing it off to business potentials, friends, you're throwing it off to family, you're throwing it off to everyone around you, the more feminine you are. Okay, because you weren't designed to be like that, especially not past the age of 12. Now, if you're still in your beginning mode, and obviously you're just found this channel and you've only heard right now how masculinity is supposed to be, understand that it's okay. Like, there's, you can't change the past, you can't change what's happened. Eaten is eaten, as we say in the anyway. And then, so you've got to figure out now what your next steps are in order for you to, over time, develop you and your brain and your body to enter into growth mode. Because then your body is not in distress anymore. Your body doesn't get sick every month or whatever often you get sick. It's not normal to get sick. Did you know that? Like, it's not normal. If masculine men don't get sick, it's not. It's something that's part of them. Their health is allowing them to be in that healthy growth mode state, which allows them to be happy and to have things flow to them. Like, both women, oh, they're naturally attracted to me and they're contacting me, and blah blah blah. That's how masculine men have it. Now, again, I recommend stay away from women romantically for until you've set up your financial foundation, and your financial foundation is not $10,000. I'm ready to date now. It's $100,000 before the hyperinflation started. So understand that. And but also money, everything flows to you, everything happens naturally and automatically when you are masculine, when you have control over your emotions and you're emotionally consistent. It's beautiful. That's why that should be your goal. It's masculinity. That's the ultimate goal. And you can never arrive. There's no such thing as I've arrived now. I'm masculine. I don't need semen retention. I don't even need to have my own business. I don't even need to do anything because I'm masculine. That it doesn't work like that, right? You obviously you're still in your femininity if you believe that you've arrived. Masculine men always stay in the growth mode. And if you're in growth mode, you're growing. There's personal growth. There's things happening. There's people around you that are like, oh, where is he going right now? Like, oh my gosh, this guy's a leader, and he never stops. How do you stay motivated? How do you keep going like that? Right? This is what people ask, like Grant Cardone and stuff like that, right? It's because he has an inner drive that he will never ever reach his potential, but he wants to find out what it is. Do you understand what I mean? So that's what I want for you guys to realize, that this is just the beginning. Once you understand masculinity, once you understand the drive, the motivation, the ambition that can fuel you and put you in eustress mode. Okay, understand there's two different types of stress. Distress, which basically hurts your body, puts you in fight or flight response, and you're like basically, everything's going too fast for you and you're struggling to keep up. That's distress. That's survival mode. That's, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. While growth mode is when you're already confident that you'll figure it out, you'll work it out, you'll make things happen, and it is actually happening, and you are growing, but there's still stress on your body. But that stress is like an exciting stress. It's like a motivating stress. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm fired up, man. Things are happening because I'm getting results. The more results you get, the more fired up and excited you'll be. And that's going to fuel your health and your excitement to do everything else in your life. If you're not motivated, you're feminine, right? If you're depressed, you're feminine. If you are not listening to other men who are more masculine than you are, more emotionally consistent, more emotionally stable, you're feminine, simply because you're not allowing yourself to be led to take you to the next step. It's feminine to be led, right? Because you're supposed to lead yourself, and you're the masculine guy, the head honcho of your life. Yeah, but if your life sucks, then you're still feminine, right? Masculinity is having everything work for you almost passively, right? And even though you're still receiving all this passive stuff, it's just coming to you naturally. That's how God has it, right? It all comes. It's just like, I don't even have to do anything. It's passive income, but in every single area of life. That's beautiful. Can you imagine how much, like if we just talk in financial terms, how much money you can make if you figure out the passive income thing? And just everything just flows to you naturally all of the time. That's why people get rich, guys, is because they've got passive income. And so they go on and make another passive income. And then they go on and make another passive income. And then they go on to make another passive income. And all of them just keep going. How is that possible? It's because they're masculine. So I'll go through the questions and then we'll figure it out. All right. I discovered around the age of 9. All right. How does survival mode connect to us? I don't know what that means. 26 years old, that's still enough time. Bro, you can be 80 years old, be all in your femininity, and know that you can hit growth mode, okay? Growth mode is simply being ambitious, motivated, excited, and fired up about life. That's what growth mode is, and you taking massive action in every area of life. Yes, our seed built up our immune system. You're right. Build up our own wealth first. Isn't it possible to balance women and finance? Bro, you keep going back to that, Ahmed, man. What's wrong? What's going on, bruh? Some of the most successful men have had women with them. I'm gonna explain that one. Let's see. You want to get your finances in order so you can have 3 girls in love. Yeah, man, for sure. Okay, so let's talk about Ahmed a little bit more. I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. I know you love this channel. I know you're here, bro. And but you know, I gotta call it out. I gotta call it out for what it is. Okay, first of all, balancing women and finances. If you're talking about balancing women and finances, you're basically saying that isn't it okay to sleep around? Because you're not believing in commitment. Because if you were believing in commitment, then you would commit to a woman, meaning that you would actually use your money and your time in order for you to make sure that she is happy. And you are obviously believing in monogamy. Or are you? Like, I mean, so like I need to understand what your thinking is. But if you're going according to what this channel is suggesting, which is that, bro, you can get so much better women in the future if you first set up your confidence levels, you set up your financials, you set up everything, and without sleeping around, you're able to create and maintain and retain a family, which is what's good for society over the long term. If you do that, if you try to establish a family and you have kids and you do all of the stuff that men do prematurely, then you're going to get issues, financial issues. Kids are expensive, family is expensive, right? And if you do that, it limits your ability to go out and get more. That's how it works. But if you're the kind of guy who are the opposite of nice, okay, you're basically saying, well, there's nothing wrong with sleeping around. There's nothing wrong with doing what the mainstream is teaching you to do. And like commitment, nah, man, that's later in the future. Right now, I'm just gonna spin plates. Well, you're destroying those women. You're being a home wrecker, right? And you're enjoying yourself, but these women believe that they're enjoying themselves, but they're racking up emotional baggage. So can you balance it out? Yeah, you can balance women and finances out if you believe that having sex with women before before long-term commitment, and you don't really care about being committed to them. Yeah, of course you can balance it out, because then you can just be on semen retention, sleep around, and then do your business, and then sleep around and do business. Of course, guys can become successful when they have women on the side. But if you're committed, it's a different story altogether. So ask me more questions when it comes to that, and I'll explain more. So I'm just explaining this from understanding monogamy and how much monogamy sucks and how much it drains your finances and how much expectations a woman has of you. Because, okay, let me explain this from a survival mode and growth mode. This is going to be fun. Understand that when you are feminine, you're in survival mode. Remember? When you're in growth mode, you're masculine. Okay, so we're trying to become more masculine. The less we need people, the better, right? The more you can be independent, the more you'll be growing, especially if you're getting the leadership from someone who is more masculine and more successful than you. Great. Now, let's say you get a girlfriend, you know, I love this girl. She's amazing. And okay, so you follow her because that's what you do when you live when you're living monogamy. You follow the women, or in other words, one woman, because she's amazing, and you're feminine, and because you're feminine, you believe that, in one-itis, that there's one girl for me, and I'm just going to be monogamous, and this is going to be great. Well, you know that you're making her, since you're feminine, you are making her become masculine, meaning that you're putting her from growth mode into survival mode. You're putting her into survival mode because she's feminine. I mean, she's becoming masculine. The more feminine you are as a guy, the more you believe in monogamy with just one woman, the more feminine you'll be, which means that she will become more masculine. Over time, she will lose her drive for you. She will lose interest in you because you're causing the problem. You're causing the problem because you believe in monogamy. You give her children and you're giving her burdens. You make mistakes and you don't have the finances that she wants you to have, and she looks at you as, this kind of No. And also, not only that, but she wants you to continuously spend time with her. The more time you spend with the girlfriend, the more feminine you're going to be. Why? Because women were designed to be with women 80% of the time, 80 to 95% of the time. The man is supposed to come in once in a while to enjoy his family, to enjoy his women, to be with the kids, and enjoy family life as a reward for all of the intense work that he was doing all day long for the rest of his life. I don't know about you, but the more masculine I become, the less I want to spend time with women. Like there's no point. Like it's a waste of time. I'm like going to the mall, waiting for her while she's changing. Oh, great, got to go shopping with her at the grocery store. And then spending time with the kids all day long because she wants me to be there because she's alone. She's lonely, right? If you homeschool kids, bro, if it was up to me, I'd be gone 12 hours a day all the time. Okay, but I'm not in that state of mind right now because I got to take care of these kids. I produce them, I put them into this world, and I want them to have the best childhood as possible. And I know that if I just leave my wife alone with them, and even if I have a nanny, even then they're still going to be in survival mode without me, and they're going to feel neglected. And if they're neglected, that's me who created their life. And their life will suck because the foundation you set up when they're children, as you might have noticed in your own life, you felt neglected as a child and you maybe had traumatic experiences. And because of those things, you remained in your femininity for a long time instead of moving towards masculinity when you were 12. That's what's going to happen to my kids if I'm not here with them, taking care of them. But if they had 3 mothers, now we're talking. Now we're talking them never feeling neglected, them always getting attention, them getting the homeschooling and being able to explore talents and explore this, that, and the other because there's always someone around ready to help them and love them and care for them. And the women will care for each other. If they're not being nurtured by other women, not you, okay? You suck at nurturing. Okay, that wasn't your purpose on planet Earth. You were supposed to provide and protect and to leave, go away from the home. That's what you were designed to do. And women know this inherently. And that's why when you're at home, they're like, why aren't you out there making money? And when you're gone, they're at home saying, why aren't you coming home? You never spend time with me. Do you understand the duality of things? Don't immerse yourselves in women too soon. It's ridiculous. I think I'm the only person teaching this. Okay? And it's ridiculous. That's why I'm reiterating this again and again and again and again and again. And I'm grateful so much, Ahmed, that you're actually sharing this with us and asking again and again, why can't we do women and business together at the same time? Come on. And I'm like, I know what you're saying, and you can do it. Of course, you're free to do whatever you want. This is a free world almost, right? And I'm a libertarian at heart and practically. And I believe in freedom. I even believe homosexuals should do whatever they want to do. I know that it's destroying society, but they can do whatever they want to do. Fantastic, right? Because I believe in freedom so much. So you can do whatever you want. I don't care. But from a standpoint of you want to become masculine, you want to make a lot of money. Not only a lot of money, but you want to do it while you do good to other people without screwing other people over. And you want to exponentially grow and not be stunted by your need for women, then you should go a long time without women to see your potential. Your true potential is stunted if you involve women too soon before you allow your women to take care of each other. Are you ready for 3 Girls in Love right now? I hope that you say no. Because if you say no, why are you even wasting your time with one woman? Yes, it's nice. She's wonderful. Most of the time it's great to be in a relationship. But when it's great, you're spending a lot of time. When it's not so great, you're also spending a lot of time. She's calling you all the time and blah, 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 blah. And you feel bad because you're a nice guy and you want to make sure she's healthy, she's happy and everything's wonderful. Let's have a moment of silence for those guys who are still focused on women, because it's ridiculous. Like, come on, let's grow up. Let's move on. Let's get rid of the need for women. It's kind of like you still need your mommy. Really? Come on. Like, let's move on and let's create our financial foundation. Let's work 8 to 12 hours a day without any text message from a girl, any phone call from a girl. Understand how to be alone and okay with yourself, even when girls come to you now, because that's what's going to happen. That's what's happening to Luaista. Like, more and more he's getting girls that are like, hi, and then they text him and he's like, nah, I'm not interested. Why? It's because he's understood masculinity and that he's not there yet. Because women are so easy these days. They're so cheap. Understand the supply and demand thing of things. Okay? Before, in the past, it was difficult to get with a woman. It's never been really difficult. We want it to be difficult because if there's a lack of supply in terms of available women for sex, that's a good thing for society, right? The only way to achieve that is if responsible polygyny is the rule. In monogamy, there's always going to be a plethora of women who are basically opening your legs for you. And if you're not able to get them, that's because you're feminine, right? You're still remaining your femininity, and I can't get any girl. But I'm taking you beyond that step. I'm leapfrogging you from there, the desperation mode, and putting you into, you don't need them at all right now. At all. Right? You've got some guys in the middle who are like, I'm figuring out how to be with girls and Tinder. But they suck. They suck because they're low value. Women are not designed to be with low value men. So when they enter into a relationship with the low value man, they think that that's the best I can get. And then they lose their self-confidence and they lose their self-worth because you suck. And that's the only thing she can get. Do you understand what I mean? Like, let those women be with other women, with other men and other women, and live their lives of their own, while you leapfrog and be okay with 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. Maybe even it takes you 3 years for you to set up your financial foundation and build up a huge, strong foundation of 10,000 US dollars in net worth. You do that, you're ready for 3 girls in love. If you understand the woman. So your next step would be to understand the woman. If you're being coached by me, that's easy. To set up 3 girls in love is easy. Once you got the money, you got the coach, and you've got the system to make it happen, to make it work. Okay, but all has to be done in order. And prioritizing one monogamous woman at the time when you're still feminine. What if she gets pregnant? Oh, I got to take responsibility for my child now. And oh, that stopped my career. Okay. The next 18 years, I'm basically going to be paying alimony, because most of the time she breaks up with you, right? She leaves because you don't know the woman. You don't know how to retain her. And do you even want to retain her? But you have to retain her because she has a baby now and it's yours, and you've got to take responsibility. And the more responsibility you take as a man in monogamy, the more she's going to be masculine and move away because you're the nice guy. Oh my gosh, you're making your life so complicated by putting women together with you right now while you build your business. I could go through this so many times. Retention is one of the best things I've ever done for myself. I suddenly feel like I did when I was a child. My imagination, creativity came back. Thank you. Awesome. Semen retention. No more anger as well. I know, right? You get past 60 days, you get past 90 days for sure. But even past 30 days, your anger begins to subside. It's amazing. I love it. Penis stretching and semen retention. I mean, Yeah, but why are you focused on that? I mean, yes, that's how you, it's Montauk it's how you begin to last longer in bed, blah, blah, blah. But who cares about that? Like, take it to the next level and not care about sex at all. That's the next step for you, right? Because like very often people say that guys are 24/7. Rollo Tomasi says unlimited sexuality with unlimited women. That's men. I don't agree with that. Like that's a feminine man who basically is so needy and in survival mode that he needs girls to be with him all of the time, and he needs to have sex all of the time, and I need more, I need more, I need more. Un- yes, to have the option for unlimited and amazingly beautiful women, yeah, of course, that would make you more masculine. But to continuously be thinking about sex all of the time, like I want my sexual desire to remain in me without having to be like without having to think about sex all the time. Like I want that sexual desire to fuel me to get power. Like because if I have sex 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, that makes me weak. Do you understand what I mean? Like I don't want any part of that. If that's what men are. No. Men are focused on power. Men are focused on creating the greater good for society, and he's not happy with setting up his own life with his own family alone. That's not enough. If you're a true masculine man, you want your love to reach out to all of humankind. You want to solve all human problems, right? And figure them all out because there's a solution for every problem. And if you're masculine, you will be thinking in that direction. You will actually care about the person in Africa who's struggling because in your environment, why should anyone be suffering? It doesn't make any sense. If multiple men begin to think like this, like what I just said right now, if we have millions of men become men of high value and use these principles in their lives, this world will look different very, very quickly. There won't be any conspiracy theories. There won't be any people who break the law eventually. There won't be war. There's going to be peace everywhere because men of high value understood that, oh, wow, monogamy is the root of all evil. It's actually what created neglected children. Neglected children is what creates violence and war and rape and murder. So how about we get rid of those? How about we get rid of the prostitution and the porn and all those things that create issues in life and become masculine? If you become masculine, you'll believe in three girls in love society because that actually makes it so that, oh, I was explaining about supply and demand. The supply of available women who open their legs will go drastically down, which means that the price of a woman will go up. And the only men that will be able to pay that price, meaning to earn the respect and the trust of the fathers of those three women, that's going to take quite a lot. There's not going to be any players anymore. There's not going to be any guys who get free pussy. That's not okay. That destroys society. So we've got to take it to the next level to create heaven on earth. We've got to. It's our duty, responsibility to be committed towards responsible polygyny. It sounds insane when you think about it, but we have to do that as long as it's voluntary. It's consenting adults. It is we're doing it, with women who desire it, right? This is not some freaky, weird cult, whatever. Okay, this is simply us understanding that monogamy created all of this, and the only way to change it is by decreasing the supply of amount of women that are on the market. I will take away two more women. You can take away three. You can take away three. You can take away three. As the faster we do that with the most beautiful women on planet Earth, the less there will be left for players to ruin society and to create the fall of an empire again and again and again and again. Because that's the monogamy cycle. We're rich, women get power, and when women get power, that's when the destruction of society happens, right? Poverty comes from the war and the squandering of wealth that happens when men are feminine and women are masculine, and everyone's spending, and basically getting into debt. That's what's happening right now. Then they're squandering war, and then we enter into poverty again, where women are now relying on one man because there's nothing else they can do, but they don't understand polygyny. And men are so religious that they're basically saying that no, monogamy, because God said so. Did he really? Come on. Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac, they all were polygynous, right? There's a reason for why they were that. Why don't we hear about Adam having more than one woman? How do we know that he didn't? Right? What about all the other greats in the Bible? Understand that polygyny was the norm, and then the Roman Empire came in and made it monogamy. And then they switched things in the Bible, took things out, put things in, and suddenly we've got monogamy as the rule since then. Fun. No, it's not fun, and it's destroying society again and again and again and again. This is the Men of High Value movement, guys. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Yeah, man, Lost Gaming, awesome that you're here, first time live. Your videos are pretty cool. Women shouldn't be the focus. Yes. Okay, thank you for your opinion, brother. Let's see. So is Three Girls in Love considered a marriage? Well, obviously, in most countries today, you can't get married with polygyny, right? That sucks. Okay, like I wish you could, because that would show true commitment from the man, and the fathers would know that he's not just gonna leave and leave them with nothing, right? However, as things are today, the transition period of time until polygyny becomes legal again, which is not going to be a problem because of the slippery slope that they created with gay marriage, which is fantastic, by the way, right? Next video, I'm gonna talk about why patriarchy and feminism go perfectly hand in hand to create Three Girls in Love. And I'm grateful that feminism happened, because feminism showed us the true colors of women. It allowed us to explore their secrets, the things that women have been thinking about for years and years and years, millennia. They've kept these secrets from the fear of being punished for what they're thinking about. But now we know what women think about. If you don't, then sign up on Girls of High Value channel on YouTube. Now we know. And because we know, now we can finally break out of that cycle that I just explained. And since it's not marriage for now, the question is, why would you need marriage if you know as a man how to retain a woman, and you know as a man that you are committed, and you, by time, you have been able to show to increase the trust level and respect level from their fathers to you over time? Why would you need marriage? Why would you need the paper? Why would you need certificate? You really think that God cares about the certificate? The only thing that God cares about is that we create heaven on earth. That's it. Can you create heaven on earth without a paper? Yes, you can. How? By you committing to it. By you being a lifelong commitment guy. I choose three. I'm going to commit to them forever. And I understand how to retain women. And because I understand how to retain women, and women don't really have agency when it comes to sexual matters because of hypergamy, right? Hypergamy is a great thing. People say that hypergamy, oh man, it's so bad, and women always switch up for a higher value man and stuff like that. In Three Girls in Love, it doesn't happen. In Three Girls in Love, they're part of the crowd, right? They don't want to be left out. And if they were to move on to the next guy, they would do so together, all three of them. But if you are actually good at retaining them and fulfilling your measure of your creation, meaning you're becoming, like, you have your financial foundation set up, why would they be looking together to find another man? That wouldn't happen if you set up your foundation from the get-go and you take all of the blame. When you take all of the blame, they live in harmony with each other. That's when we're creating success in Three Girls in Love. That's why there's no need for marriage other than for other people to know that, okay, these are actually legit and they're going to be together forever. But if you know that's the only thing that matters, then cohabiting is completely fine, making sure that you live in a place where they're not going to, attack you for it or put you in prison for it or whatever stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense that you're not allowed to cohabit, but you're allowed to sleep around with thousands of women. Like, why isn't Dan Bilzerian put in prison yet? Right? Or whatever else guys are doing. Because, oh, well, we can't really, they're just sleeping. It's two consenting adults. Same thing with 3 Girls in Love. How are you going to stop it? You can't. How about you, sir? Do you have 3 girls in love? I'm honest with you guys. Why would I have this camera if I had the financial foundation set up? I have other people working with me and for me. Yes, absolutely. But I'm not there yet. I don't personally feel I'm there yet. But give me 6 months, 12 months, maybe, around the same time Luesta does it. Maybe we'll do it at the same time. So, but for now, me personally, I don't think I'm ready. So if I'm not ready, bro, you're not ready for 3 Girls in Love. I can't control my masturbation. Please tell me how to control and no fap. You need some other form of motivation. Hopefully this video helped. Hopefully, like 3 Girls in Love, I can have that. I can create that. And, oh man, that's exciting. Yeah, now you need to become a man first. Okay, so once you clear that, then you'll be able to, you can get rid of the other stuff once you get the long-term perspective and motivation. If you don't have any long-term motivation, then then you might as well get immediate gratification and do whatever, blah blah blah. So, but anyway, watch all my videos on semen retention. You'll get some great tips from there. But my recommendation though is to have a full-time job or 2 or 3 jobs, because if you have that, if you're in your you're struggling with masturbation, you're struggling with no fap and semen retention, you are not busy enough. You're not in public enough, right? Because if you're working 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, how on earth do you have time to be like going into the bathroom and I need to masturbate? Like, it wouldn't happen. So your next step, in my opinion, is to get a job. Most of the people who struggle with masturbation are the guys who are sitting at home, they still live with their mother, and they don't have a job, and they're trying to build their business. You're not building your business. You're wasting time. 8 hours, 10 to 12 hours a day. You should be working for someone else if you're still struggling with porn and masturbation. It's not acceptable. And even those that don't struggle with porn and masturbation, in my opinion, you're not ready to build a business by yourself if that's the only thing that you're doing. Because you know how productive you are. Are you productive? If you're not productive, get a job now. Yes, it stands for just over broke, but that's way better than you being at home doing nothing. That's a waste of your potential. Go out there and serve. Forget yourself and go to work. That's all I'm going to say today. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next one.